I wanted to pop in briefly to share a really cool insider into a money manifestation session I've just had with a wonderful, beautiful person. This is a professional, a doctor here in the UK, and we had a beautiful deep diving conversation around her relationship with money and her current financial reality. First, I want to say, by the time someone gets to a call with me or comes in to deep dive into this work, I have the deepest respect, because looking at your relationship with money can bring up so much fear, shame, pain. It exposes so much. And this is why I love diving into our relationship with money. But I wanted to share some of the beautiful information in this work that won't necessarily be clear or evident on the surface level. So what I do is I work with the symptoms of what my clients are dealing with, or people I'm talking to are dealing with. So that could be financial trouble, financial problems, debt, fears that are coming up, anxiety that are coming up, or equally in business, right? The challenges that are coming up in business, in your team, in your organization, sales, marketing, whatever it is, we start with the surface symptom, the pain, the problem, the challenge, or equally issues in your relationship, your health, or whatever it is. We go in and we look at it, we face it, and we start a journey of exploration. Now, what we were able to identify are the different sides of ourselves in this conversation. There is, we call the doom and gloom, or the fear, or the lack and scarcity. What happens when we're in anxiety? What happens when we go into that part of ourselves that is desperately trying to feel safe, but also really just wants to contract and keep you small? And so what I do is hold a safe space to work with the part of you that may be freaking out, or really stressed, or really overwhelmed, or really struggling with your current situation. Go into it, look at it, and we go deeper. I like to say we go under it, and we start to become like detectives or miners. You start to understand what is going on in the deeper levels, because that experience that you're having is the symptom level. And there is a deeper and richer experience going on. And I call this mining for gold, because underneath here is some extraordinary wealth ready and waiting for you. And it's kind of the secret, because what we tend to do is avoid pain. We avoid discomfort. If anything feels icky or bad, we don't want to go there. And I'm like, we go there, we go in, we go and meet it, we go and face it. And where everyone else doesn't want to go, this is where we go. Why? Because there is gold, there is wealth, there are resources ready and waiting for you in there. So we start going in, and I start asking questions about the first symptom. We go in and we go deeper, and we go deeper, and we go deeper, and we go deeper. And what I found with every challenge that we're experiencing on the surface is there's a deeper, richer problem going on underneath. And not only that, there is an incredible source of power in there. And this is the part of you that I call your money manifestation master. It's your creator. It's your wise one. But this part of you is buried. It's hidden. It's been locked away, shut down for all sorts of fascinating and interesting reasons. Sometimes from your lived experience, through your family of origin, or the society that you grew up in, the culture that you grew up in, or from your ancestors even. It's super, super fascinating. But essentially what we want to see is where you have shut off or shut down from your creative power, and where you have disempowered yourself and created separation between yourself and who you truly are. That part of you that's immensely powerful. Now, what's super interesting is you will have naturally a mountain of objections against going in there, right? Your surface level will be protecting you, trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you where you are. So everything in you is going to kind of contract against this process, but it's actually the way in. And this is why I call this the pain portal to prosperity. If we have the courage to go into the shadow, go into the darkness, and go and look at what is there, actually what we find is so much energy light, resources in there. And that part of you that is, you're in separation from, that is buried underneath the ground, if you will, is an innovator and has solutions to your problems. But we have to go deeper, right? It's like on the surface, that's where all the noises, the mental noise, the emotional reactions, all the ideas and thoughts. And as you go deeper into deeper levels of the ocean, right, things get quieter and more still and deeper. It's not where the noise is, and it's not visible, right? We're going into your unconscious aspects of yourself. Now, what's super interesting to me is all the ways that you shut off from your creative power and who you truly are. And this is what shows up as symptoms. So when we are in disconnection or in separation from ourselves, there will be symptoms. There'll be like a slow leak, right? And we're trying to make safe decisions in the now, keep you safe, keep you small. A lot of people are trying to be, loved and accepted, approved of, fit in, that longing for belonging, I like to call it, and trying to kind of, stay where you are, fit in, and not rock the boat. There will be like a slow leaky gut symptom of that, right? I call it short-term gain, long-term pain. And yet, if we have the courage to go in, I call it short-term pain for long-term gain, because this part of you inside that we want to kind of uncover and discover actually is immensely, immensely powerful. But ultimately, I think that's what we fear. We fear our power. We fear how powerful we really are. And it's also, it's not the path of least resistance, right? It's the path of potential risk of judgment or criticism or not being received, of failure, of setbacks, of getting things wrong. And yet it's also the path of like truly coming alive and feeling on purpose and actually making the impact that you want to make in the world and creating those waves of change that you want to make. And most people won't make that journey, which I get because it's super intense. And every single day I am deeply challenged by this path and deeply challenged by this work. But call me crazy, I've made a commitment to keep listening, to keep following. I call it that inner guidance or that wealthy wisdom within, and listening to that voice, letting that voice lead, and taking those little baby steps forward, one step at a time, call it aligned action. Now, of course, we have to work with the part of you that wants to feel safe and secure, that's in the logic, that's on the surface level, that's just looking at the world from one point of view, doing what it knows how to do, making decisions based on present and past data and evidence. And it's important. We want to work with the logic. We want to work with the surface as well. But that deeper depth of you, what I call your wealthy wisdom within, or your creative power, is living in a whole other world of potential, of creativity, of they're an innovator. They've got ideas. They can, come up with solutions to problems. And that part, I think, is a little genius. But yet it's sort of buried, it's separated, it's disconnected. So part of this journey of money manifestation mastery, or waking up your wealth, is reconnecting to this part of you, reclaiming this part of you, and trying to bridge that gap between your inner world and your outer world, and figuring out how to bring this part of you out into the world. But we're terrified, right? Because one, it's very sensitive, very vulnerable, but also equally very powerful. And you don't have the lived experience yet of bringing this part of you out into the world. But what I do is create a safe space to start to build that relationship and start to listen and start to get curious. Really, it's about starting to understand this part of you that thinks very differently, sees things very differently, has a literal different point of view, but also learning to hold the part of you that wants to stay safe, that stays in survival, that will be screaming and shouting at you to keep everything as it is, to hold that part, calm that part of you down, work with that part too, and then start to bridge that gap. So you're in co-creation between like the logic, right, and that deep kind of wisdom that lives within yourself. It's like your power center. And then we have this beautiful marriage, this beautiful union. And extraordinary things are possible from this place. So this is partly what I was doing on this call today. I wanted to come in and share with you It is a very unique path. It's a very intense path, the path of money manifestation mastery, waking up your wealth, connecting to your creative power. It is not for the faint-hearted, but it's honestly really about coming alive and being on purpose and realizing your potential and growing, evolving, healing, transforming. It's the most thrilling and exciting path, as well as being very intense. So if you are curious about this and you want to find out how to connect to your wealthy wisdom within, to connect to that part of you that's an amazing problem solver and that actually knows how to innovate, knows how to create, to get into the driver's seat of your life, to take the reins, to move out of victim consciousness, survival, and start to consciously create, lead from your wealth, then I would love to invite you to come in and have a deep dive. I'm running an event very soon, starting September the 18th. It's called the Living Abundance Wealth Retreat. This is for big-hearted entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, leaders who really want to make change in this world, starting with you to create a beautiful life of true wealth. Money is part of that, but it's not all of it. And you want to find out how to do that, following the guidance of your wealthy wisdom within, that heart, body, soul aligned wealth creation. Please come and join us. Put the link below. It's larawaldman.com, and you can visit the Wealth Retreat link, sign up, book your free place, and we will dive even deeper together very soon. It's incredibly powerful. I have had so much feedback, people telling me they're landing 10K clients, big contracts, new ideas landing, huge inner work happening. It's very, very powerful, and would love to have you join us. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I would love to know what is popping for you in this conversation today. What is landing? What is popping? What have you received? I would love to hear. Please share in the comments below. And if you want me to send you the link, just let me know in the comments or send me a DM. All right, sending you lots of love and hope to deep dive with you in this world of wealth very soon.